This is Matt Lautner Cattle. This week, we keep up with Matt while he's on the road, making herd visits and checking out Matt Lautner Cattle's sired calves. We'll hear his latest news, picks on what bulls are working hard for customers, and how to breed some of the top Lautner sires.
Matt, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. But I know that you're busy and you've been traveling and making herd visits. How's the traveling going?
Very good. We started out the day in Ohio, in Fayette, Ohio, at Powers Cattle Company, the breeder of Chopping Wood. Me and Scott toured around 5 to 6 places in northwest Ohio, and then we made our way back into Indiana and stopped at Ryan Ott's, and as well as Toby Friedhoff's. Then we came down to Anderson, Indiana for a Indiana Spring Social. We had several people show up, and it was a real good night.
You bet. Well, y'all been hitting the road pretty hard lately, and that's one of my favorite things about what we do, is being able to get out and make herd visits and see those great cattle. And many of us, we just don't know how to breed your bulls to different kinds of cows to make that great one. So with that in mind, walk us through some of your top herd sires and the types of cows you'd use them to maximize the mating results.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. My older bulls, obviously, there's been a lot of calves out of them, so people might have a little bit of better idea on how to breed them. But as far as the younger bulls go, I think I have 4 standouts from last year's class, and that would include Monopoly Money, Monopoly 2, Chopping Wood, and Bodacious. Monopoly Money, he's going to breed with a little bit more gas and performance than what Monopoly does. He has slightly more frame. They're very similar as far as bone, hip, and body structure. The Monopoly Moneys are very good in their shoulder and neck design. So you want to breed that bull to a slightly more moderate cow than what you're going to breed Monopoly to, and expect the same sort of results as far as bone and consistency. Now, Bodacious, he's a cow changer. He's going to power your cows up. He's a big bone, big butted bull with lots of body. He's breeding very true to how the bull looks in person. You want to utilize that bull to add bone and power. Chopping Wood, that seems to be Scott's favorite bull as far as our travels go so far. He's going to moderate frame, body, and butt, keep the bulls and heifers out of him very sound and functional as far as structure goes. And finally, the last bull is Monopoly 2. From that perspective, Monopoly 2 is a clone. Some people believe that clones breed slightly differently, but in Monopoly 2's circumstance, he breeds as true to the original as we have ever been around, including Heatwave 1. That bull is going to add bone and body and moderate frame. Like Monopoly, he's going to pretty consistently saleable calves out of multiple different pedigrees as far as dams go.
Matt, I know you've been selling a lot of semen on the I-80 bull, but we've also seen some really nice calves out of Jesse James. Can you take and compare those two bulls and how to best utilize two versus the other?
I think that on first calf heifers, I-80 and Jesse James are easily the leading two options as far as getting a live functional calf and not risking large birth weights and risking the long-term health of your first calf heifers. Now, my personal preference is Jesse James. I think those calves are tremendously sound, big-bodied, functional cattle, as well as the I-80s. But the thing I think that Jesse James excels in is the consistency as far as shining both steers and heifers that are going to be saleable in the long term. But both those bulls are doing a heck of a good job, and you really can't go wrong with either one of them bulls.
From keeping up with your blog, which you've been doing a great job with, by the way, of keeping a lot of good, consistent information out there, but we've seen that you're traveling with Scott Shelby, who those of us from Texas will know as a musician with a really strong cattle background. What addition has he brought to Matt Lautner Cattle?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, Dope. Actually, Scott's sitting right beside me, and I'll go ahead and let you ask those questions to him.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
Good, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. So how you liking traveling up there in God's country, up in the Midwest?
By far, this is the most enjoyable and fulfilling job that I've ever had, just traveling up and getting to sort through such quality cattle up here in a part of the world that I'm not super familiar with. Whenever I've been in the setting of vet school for the past couple of years, and it's been all about biochemistry and physiology and all that, it's really nice to get back to reminding me why I wanted to go to vet school in the first place, to be around these kind of people and deal with cattle every day.
Right. Well, those of us from Texas know you not only as a real strong cattleman, but also as a musician. Are you getting a chance to do both while you're on the road?
I certainly love music almost as much as I love evaluating cattle and whatnot. There's been a couple of instances where people have just heard that I've been, have a decent music background and have heard a couple of my videos, and why don't you get up there and sing a couple, and that's been just really humbling experience to be able to bring that kind of aspect to this deal.
Well, I know you grew up down here in the cattle business. Now that you've traveled up there in the, that club calf capital, are there any glaring differences that strike you as far as how people do it up there versus how they do it in Texas?
I'll tell you what, that's a great question that I've been wanting to tell everybody about. Up here, it seems like the spirit of the club calf deal is strong amongst so many families and different farms. Everybody wants a shot at it up here. I think that it's a little bit different in terms of getting to keep the hair on them at every show, and hair becomes a big factor. And that's fun and exciting in itself. Cattle up here are really, really strong. From top to bottom, it seems like, all the cattle have certain pieces about them that you really like. My personal preference towards chopping wood. That sucker is super stout, super sound, super functional. And on top of that, he's actually really, really hairy. And he's been throwing some calves that can get along all over the nation. And that's one thing that I'm excited about, is getting that bull down into Texas.
Well, Scott, I know you guys have been busy, but have you got any other events coming up that people need to know about?
Next Thursday in Burton, Kansas, we're going to do a little, a customer appreciation or entertainment type deal at Paradise Bar and Grill. But at the end of the day, we really just want all these people in the cattle world to kind of have a good time and enjoy what they're doing.
Well, guys, it's been great talking to you. I know you got a lot of miles yet to cover and a lot of places left to see and visit with, and I want to wish you the best and wish you guys safe travels, and we will look forward to seeing you down the road.
Thanks a lot, Dope. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank
you, guys.
I'm Matt Lautner, and I strongly encourage everyone to check out idealvideo.co and dopelambert.com and check out all the work these guys are putting together. Thank you.